We're still in high gear, moving right along. We've got some great programming still coming all day long from the NADA live stage. I'm your host, Errol Bomar. Excited to have you here as always. Up next, we're going to talk about the hidden cost of dirty data. Not Dirty Diana, that's Michael Jackson. We're talking about dirty data. And we're basically looking at recharging your dealership records. To help lead in that conversation, please do me a favor. Let's welcome up Michelle Phelps, VP of Customer Success at Authenticom, and John Benlin, Asbury Automotive. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give them a warm round of applause. You ready? Come on up.
All right, thank you. How's everybody doing today? So thank you so much for coming out. My name is Michelle Phelps. I am the VP of Customer Success at Authenticom. And with me I have John Beelan from Asbury Automotive. Want to give an intro?
You got it. I'm John Beelan. I've been in the automobile industry a long, long time. I'm an old data nerd from way back. Been on many, many different platforms throughout the years. And now I work for Asbury Automotive as the Director of Applications for Fixed Operations. But one of my roles in my position is really examining the data that we have and trying to root out all evil, right? That's what we're doing here.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John. So I have a question before we get things started. How many of you in the audience are dealers? Show of hands. Okay, good answer. How many of you are in growth mode? You're buying other dealerships and acquiring other stores? Another good answer. All right. One of the things we want to talk about today is just what happens with the data. So John and I go back way too long, number of years.
A little bit.
And Authenticom, one of the things that we do and one of our platforms that we have is our data hygiene. So the things that we see with data, being a big data company, there's a lot going on there that a lot of people don't really understand. So we do data syndication, hygiene, all of that. And John and he had a particular conundrum going on in his world at Asbury Automotive at the corporate level. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. So let's go back a number of years and talk to me about the things that you were seeing in your data and what was going on at the corporate level at Asbury.
Yeah, so I've been with Asbury for about 10 years. And when I joined Asbury, we were at roughly 80 stores. Over the years, over the last 10 years, we've divested about 50 stores, and we've now are sitting at about 180. So we've almost doubled in size, or have doubled in size, and also gotten rid of a lot of stores. And one of the things that we experience as we buy new stores and buy new platforms is the reality that people aren't great at collecting, inputting, and keeping good data. One example that we have is one of the things that Michelle helped us do is evaluate quality data. One of the stores that we acquired had roughly 70,000 customers that had been in their data for almost 30 years that actually had the dealership as the mailing address for the customer. And
why would a dealer do that, John?
Well, I'm sure it was likely at a time period where the manufacturers were mailing out surveys, and of course they didn't want to mail the survey to the customer, so they used the dealer's address and they filled them out themselves. Michelle was actually able to use the phone number and the email data for the customer and actually rip out the bad data, and we were able to inject the correct addresses for all of these customers. 70,000. Right now at this minute, our name database sits, or did sit about 3 years ago at about 24 million customers, and that's just not even practical. The reality is that we probably have just over 10 million that are actually true, valid, high-quality customers. And we've also dropped our name database by half in the last 2 years, much to the success of Michelle and her team, just helping us find the duplicates and the bad data and so on. And through that, we find all sorts of crazy practices that dealers have done throughout the years to try to circumvent systems of one kind or another.
So one of the things that I love talking about, though, is when you discovered everything that was going on with the data, because being all the stores, acquiring and transitioning, doing a DMS change, and in the meantime, right, transitioning from one CDK over to Techion and in beta test, John came to us and was very much like, okay, I have a big problem. How am I going to fix it? And we had to reverse engineer some of the things because one of the big solutions that we also provide, it's a platform called Native Vault, so NADA. So that is a data syndication platform that we offer free to dealers to help you retrieve your data and move it from point A to point B in a very secure fashion. So not only can we move the data for you, but we also can then apply hygiene. So one of the things that I wanted to make sure that we touched on today is just that process of beginning to look at the data and what are the steps people should really start to take? Because we had to go and develop this whole system because there is not a company out there that does this great. Everyone has little pieces of it, email cleansing or address cleansing, VIN validation, all of that. And we had to go and develop an end-to-end solution, starting with our Native Vault platform and then going ahead and doing the hygiene and then sending it back so then John could put it back in the new DMS. So talk to me a little bit about that. And if you were to give a dealer advice on this process, where would you start?
Yeah, the one, I guess, benefit of working for a public is we audit everything. And usually it's our internal audit team that comes to me with a problem. Hey, why does this email address show up in our database 300 times? You know, when you're in growth mode and you buy platforms at a time, if you have situations where people just knowingly enter bad data, and all of a sudden our marketing department decides that they want to send out, 300,000 bad email addresses, being blackballed by Google is not a good idea. So we've had to wrestle down that before, because we have just massive ingestions of horrible data. So we've really had to take time and evaluate, what we have. So Michelle was actually able to validate email addresses. So we actually have a catalog right now of about 300,000 bad email addresses that exist that we constantly bounce our database off of and rip them out because people are constantly plugging in no email at noemail.com for any number of reasons.
So it's a continual process then. It's not just clean your data and put it back in there because you're GMs and everyone. So it starts with best practices. Figure out what's important to you and then continuously clean it because otherwise your GMs, everybody, like you said, none at none.com. And it's all going back to the corporate level.
Yeah, it's really, there's a tremendous amount of education that we have to give to our people. When we go into different platforms, when you have turnover in your stores and you hear a brand new general manager say, we need to require an email address on every customer. That's a horrible idea. Requiring an email address on every customer asks for bad data. I would rather have accurate data than bad data any day of the week. We rip out hundreds of thousands of bad email addresses on a regular basis. Fun fact, I actually had a service manager of ours randomly found a Facebook page for service advisors. And in this Facebook page for service advisors, someone actually said, I'm with X dealership and I need a bunch of good email addresses to plug in for my customers so that you guys can help me with my surveys. We've now
wow.
We've now harvested about 3,000 or 4,000 of those email addresses, and we will wipe them out. It's just a systemic problem, and one that we truly attempt at every opportunity, especially through audit, to reach out to individuals at the store level and say, we know that this is happening. This is not acceptable. We need to make sure that we have the right data in the right place at the right time. No other option is acceptable.
So, and Asbury's done just a tremendous job, and you and your team. You have a team now doing this. Um, have done this at the corporate level for all of your dealerships and best practices. Talk to me with our remaining couple minutes here just about the impact that it has made at the corporate level, being able to get your data out, clean it, and push it back in, and then the best practices and the training and everything you guys have done at the corporate level. What does that look like on the day-to-day for your dealerships?
Yeah, we have tried. We've tried and succeeded, and tried and failed many things. Our marketing department has tried a data lake. The strategy, the challenge that we experience with a data lake is that if your CRM database is using the data lake as its source, and it doesn't use all fields to validate a customer against your DMS, all it's going to do is jam in a brand new duplicate customer into the DMS. So we're continually perpetuating the problem. Many of the DMSs don't understand that the transactional source of record of any customer has to be the DMS, not the CRM, not the data lakes, not anything else. It has to be the DMS, and all of them have to do better.
Thank you so much, John. Again, Michelle Phelps, I'm the Vice President of Customer Success at Authenticom. Anything that you need from native vault, data syndication to hygiene, John and I will be at booth 2415 and would love to talk to you guys about what is going on in your databases and some real world best practices to go ahead and keep your data clean and have control of that data rather than just funneling it around the circle in the ether. So absolutely, thank you so much for the time today. And yeah, 2415.
Yeah, find a great partner, and it works out. It helps tremendously.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, guys.